Before I met Mpho Tshabalala, I was crazy about Yabashanti. You know, if I can reflect, my friends can testify on this. They would bring me crazy. So when we met back then and we connected, for me was like a dream come true to say, wow, these are the women that I looked up to, to have, to break the industry.
Remember, Isahabai one. That's when we could understand, this man, he's something else. He's one of a kind. He is the chosen one. Sometimes if Mandoza was here, they know.
Girls, come and dance. Girls, come and dance.
Try me, girl.
Come and dance.
You wanna let dance lewa tipa
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I remember. How short a blue nasty. How short.
Asasakona. No, I would.
Lotshani sishaba gedlisa nathi kulo naga siziragela phambili.
I'm very impressed with what you're trying to do.
Mina ngithanda utshwala.
Nathi singama community omphakathi.
Usiphosile uyasijoya futhi athina.
Journalists have been asking me what happened between you and Somizi.
It's a good day to have a happy day.
Sanbanani dumelang bare option bare dimadekwane bare goye more bare yonke ntsipi ya washa. It happy days on podcast. Batumba mudimo, it's such a beautiful day. Bare, it's a beautiful day. We are allowed to be happy. SK Happy Days podcast. Why not? Good people. Ke le tshwaretse a very special woman. Remember, this is our month. Remember, this is our day. Bare ki Women's Day today, but na ho ya ka nna. Ki matsatsi a rona every day 365 and a quarter as in a days. But Mamudimo, South Africa as a whole, ke le tshwaretse a very powerful woman. Ki bua ka le batla ke le bolele or le tla ke sa ke a dlala. Ke Mpho Tshabalala. Ya hanse ki bua lena Ernest emapele ne tlokano ganyane fela are you cannot say my name without saying my surname loud. Ar hobane ke surname a very special. Leng hore the one and only apple of my eye, the one and only my soulmate unsila leona. You know what I'm saying? So ke tshware Mpho Tshabalala Harbuaka Indlovugas.
Thank you.
Welcome, my sister.
Thank you very much, Nasty.
Still, should I say still crazy? I can change it. It's like the chosen one.
Our old crazy days.
Yes.
Our old crazy days, yeah. It's about wow.
Yeah.
We might look like we're 20, but we were then.
Yeah.
20
You know, show me how we are sonana. We've been through what?
Yes.
I normally say, especially to young women, but guys, for the fact that you are here and you are rolling and things are happening, isn't industry? It's because of us, you know?
Yeah. We are survivors, Nestam. We've survived a lot in life. The ups and downs.
Yeah.
Silento, maplanka le.
Yeah.
So, mina, I'm happy to be here, spending Women's Day with you. Usually, I don't work on Women's Day because it's a day for me to relax. I work hard.
Yes.
So, for me, but mabati, I also chill on this time. Why not?
Yeah.
Sure, reminiscing into Zakdala and just have conversations about, where we're going and where we come from.
Yeah.
As women.
Last
Puma khona.
Normally when it's Women's Day, you don't work or relaxa. Behind the scenes, before Rishabila Matso, is something I need to put in. We don't have to be ashamed. True. Siyazibambela bathi sit ngezandla bathi zenzele wena. Yeah, good people, maybe Molly Temba iputsar, but now Mpho rich unesing apha uphethe imbokoto umfaso strong Mpho Tshabalala. The next thing they are taking over all over now. The podcast say happy days reaching it hasn't reached usebenza too much. Ithingi vele ngukupose kayiwani nje ngadecide ngathi thingibone futhi weather iyavuma. Hardes ngathi ngicela uyofaka ishot ukhiphe angazi ngoba i6 pack ikhona or kidihupho, you decide, So today is our day, good people. As you know, Khuriki Happy Days podcast, we are happy. We are celebrating our month. We are celebrating us as being women in the entertainment industry. We are the only living ancestors.
Okay.
I'm saying living ancestors, so indlela ibuzwala, ibuzwala. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk a lot.
I must say, in honesty, I was lucky that I wasn't in the industry. I got to be in the industry by default, by inheritance, by what. But what I loved is that I always was there with Mpho Tshabalala. That's where I met you. Backstage, you will all be crazy because I remember before I met Mpho Tshabalala, I was crazy about Yabashanti. If I can reflect, my friends can testify on this. They would bring me crate. So when we met back then and we connected, for me it was like a dream come true to say, wow, these are the women that I looked up to, to have, to break the industry. In those days, it was something else. And you stood the test of time in everything that you went through as seashore, with kids, with husbands, marriages, family, all of that, business, gawagya, pagama. But indoda, you are namhlanje kusasiphinde ivuka.
Or which means those lines, Mandoza, he took them from you.
No. But I want to say, ukuthi, but better. Indoda ngeke ivuke umfazi angekho behind that man. So indoda iwa namhlanje kusasa iphinde ivuke because there's a strong woman behind that indoda, whether it's a mother, whether it's a grandmother, whether it's a wife, a sister, but there is a woman behind leyo ndoda leyo.
So Chomi khanyane fela usikushabile ke umnganyana ona omuntle wethi I want to know hore likopane jwang likopane meng and usantsana o gopola tsana kontsela go no go sheliwa motho tla yamela mola go khoneng and then go be that I don't know that payoff line eleng gore itla go capture.
So back in the days I was a Carlton Center girl. Ba hang around ka kwa khopla ditulong tsela. Yes. So I was a Carlton Center girl. Re hanging around with the girls. Then these guys come through. Hey, bona ba bua. And then one of my friends was like, Chomi, nkare bua ka wena. I'm like, no, definitely. Those baggish looking guys, never, not me. They look so, they're clean, but because they're wearing some type of way bagqoka amadikisi ngenye indlela
Eish.
I'm like ababhekanga mina laba ngifuna bo screw back in the days
Okay.
bo speed like
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I'm kind
Okay, tall. Okay,
yes.
okay.
But then you know I buali abuti ka mutla la hore o reng and then the nice part about you know meeting umduduzi that got me is that uhlala phi nyasho ngihlala phi and then ngiyaka gogwami emndeni of
Yeah.
which emndeni kula kuphelela khona to go emndeni udlula izolo
Izolo,
Sihlala
yes.
izolo hayi siyogibela athi hayenza kumele siyaxoxa hayi bese siyophuma siyogibela phandle eCarlton Center gibela sonke eTaxini this guy how uthi hayi ngizodlula mina ngokukhapha I'm like oh okay siyadlula uyangikhapha siyohlika ngiyahlika la ngihlika
Yeah.
khona go home ngiyangena ngibheka school bag then uyangikhapha I'm like oh that's being a gentleman
You know, you're such a gentleman.
You're such a thuggish gentleman. yeah, you're such a thuggish gentleman
Yeah.
and those are one of the things that say okay I want to know more about you uphuma phi what kind of a family usho uphuma ezola kamampela you know that's why they say don't judge a book by its
Yeah, well,
cover
yeah.
so I got to know the guy and his family and I was like wow wow that's yeah man okay that's true yeah
Usila yazi. Okay, now you are approval. Okay, I like it. Yeah. And another lori get the beginning, yeah, the journey.
that was the beginning of the journey
And then that time you didn't know who he's in the industry, ne? The time you are now Shella and all that.
I knew because it was in Chiscop at that time.
Oh, yes, the
it
group,
was in
yeah.
Chiscop at
Yeah.
that time, and I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, but you love stage. I'm like, okay. It was like, you know, and you're single. I'm young and single. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll be half in, half out. Oh, bag.
Yeah.
How man, it's man, good nice inyana. And I remember there was a time. I think it was after he released his first album, and he had an interview, why? So he says to me, ngimkhaphe ekuseni ngo-6 ekuseni I think it was Fetjo in the morning.
Yeah.
So I say to my grandma, Koko ngicela ungivuse ekuseni.
Yeah.
Ngikhapha umngane wami ku-interview.
Umngane.
My grandmother thinking I'm capping a girl
Yeah.
and on a job interview.
Yeah.
So
Kanti
I see the patient
akazi.
wami, vuka ungazuyenza umngane wakho abe late. And then this guy comes, how? Uthi ukhapha umngane. Ngithi hayi umngane wami gogo. So, you know, those were the nice days. And he didn't have a car. Sambile ngama-taxi,
Yeah.
skaphana ngama-taxi until he bought his first car. I actually
yeah.
impressed wathenga i-325.
Ay wena man.
Nini ya overheater le moto, nini ya staka le moto. I was that girl who used to wear those shoes, the thick platforms.
Yeah.
Mayistakile kanjalo kumele ngiphushe
Uphushe,
ngama-platforms
yeah.
lawa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed those days, you know, because there came a time phambili life where we would miss that when it was getting too much
yeah.
into our lives.
Yeah.
We'd miss those days. We'd say, akhumbula sihamba ngamateksi baby, uyakhumbula sapusha imoto. Now if we were to get stuck push imoto, it would be stories
Yeah,
for days.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when we were being ourselves, even though we've always been ourselves, but you know, sometimes the public will put pressure on you.
Yeah. Ke batla o tseba chomi gore okay. Se le jola jwanong and obviously family a ke re tshwantse tlotsa ama intro.
Yeah. So rajola kumnat and boom, I'm pregnant.
Yo.
Yep. Yeah. That's 1999. I'm only 19.
Come on. Mrs. Tshabalala, you must be joking.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, I had my firstborn when I was 20.
And then ke batla o tseba intro no so e entse or but
No.
yo I wanna know wo ne live ntombazana.
Nothing. Intro was only done. You know, now I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Ko gae ba botsa ge. Okay, and then I tell guy, thinking uguy mhlambe ngoba waselokishini uzoza neplan nyana uthi hayi man asenze kanje. Guy is excited. Wow, celebrate. I'm like, hayi ndoda. And then I'm too young to be a mother. Ayo, ngizoba ubaba. Yo, ngizoba itimer. Like, oh, okay. Ngitshela uba old lady. Ngithi, oh, okay. So nami should ngibe ngiyobatshela endlini. Kanti vele endlini gogo mama mamncane sibangibonile ukuthi I mean there's something cooking there. So eventually I had to tell them because you know there's things that are done traditionally.
Yes.
Ngabantu baselokishini yena mele bavuke ekseni bakuvale ngamatshali bakuhambise lapha ekokota emzini yabantu engisengavuka abantu, and that was okay.
Yeah.
The scariest part was when my dad had to be told.
Yo.
Oh, she doesn't understand. You know, they had to prepare. Which, okay, this Sunday, Baba Uzoza, you know, because on weekends, and say, intend so way to, but mom and my dad are based at home. Baba Uzoza, and then we're going to break the news to Baba. But ngoba yamazi babakho. Wena, mawumbona paka, umbulisi ngabatshela ngathi yazini asenzeni kanje kokho. Because vele uthozo letha imali impahla ze Christmas back then uyazi sithola impahla
yeah
nikeni angike imali kuqala mase nginika imali mina ngizophuma and then senasana ngitshela ke it was like that ngiphila imali ubaba phuma ngiyobaleka ngiyakhaba umngane. He was very mad. My dad stayed for when they told him, I think I was 4 months there, he stayed not talking to me until I gave birth, the day that I gave birth.
Serious?
Yep. Yeah, he was very disappointed. He had so many dreams for Na to say yes with Aleso and Abuta Hekim Shimanokokai. Ario! Wabona makesha ka ufela bo dube ko Midlands. Haniko dube ko Midlands. Dobsonville, you know. Uya kwaZola. Hayi.
Bathi uZola bathi ba umshaya zaphe.
But then, you know, afterwards when then he was introduced, the family was introduced. When my dad got to know Mduduzi. Mduduzi was a son to him. He got to know, I don't know, why you chose this guy. The respect that he has, he time, you know. So they got along, and that was it.
The rest is what? History.
The rest is history.
I see.
As proof or something. The rest is history. But you know, for now, in my life, in my marriage, you can never say the rest is history too early. There's been a lot of challenges when I understand. Industry challenges with him. Our marriage, the fame, family, me surviving a stroke, him with cancer. So
So before it now now we ready for marriage. Yes, I'm fair to go I really want to know.
As I was driving last night, I was listening to the song. There's a song he used to play. Because after one now, Rona, we decided we're moving in together.
Okay, in chum. Pakati inside.
We're moving in. But negotiations, whatever. You know, we're building a family. We decided we're building a family.
Yes.
We're building a family. We moved in together. It was nice, so we're staying together. And then I think there was also, he wanted to do it, but there was also pressure from Mewachayeli Malume to say, decide what you want to do, you know. Then he told them, no, I want to get married. But he used to play the song, Jagged Edge.
Okay.
Let's get married.
Let's get
Meet me at the altar with your white dress. So that's, he used to play that song, and I didn't get the clue with the Hyman. Even though he was in kwaito, but he loved R&B. He loved R&B, so we used to play music until one day we're driving, and he says, "Hey baby, senze ayasivele strowe baby."
I'm pincham.
Dude, is that a proposal?
Ubofuna izena guqe phansi
Something
ngamadola.
like that.
Come on.
Flowers, the jacket, you know. Ngithi okay ayi asivele siyenze baby angithi nami sengijwayele kuba
Yeah.
intombazana ayisengumakoti wasezola
Yeah.
you know there's itsotsi yasezola but mina ngumakoti wasezola yeah so sengijwayele ukuthi ayi ngiyicherry yasezola ngithi okay ayi ngiready kuba makoti wasezola ke
Yeah.
so yeah that was the proposal in the car si driver nje kanjalo okay athi okay ngizokhuluma nabo emalume bahambe bayo khuluma nabakini I'm like okay let's do it. And then we decided to say, okay, we will do a small family ceremony in December. But next year, baby, there's me with my English and my vara thinking I'm going to have a wedding at a venue.
Yeah.
We went and we checked out venue. We tasted food and everything. And then one day he says, hey, babe, izindlela indawo zakho isiloko sizahamba nokudla khona kumnandi mara mina ngifuna ukwenza ithwanthwana estrateni
Ubani? Uye.
yes athi mina ngifuna ukwenza ithwanthwana estrateni ngikhule ngibona kunemishado estrateni bachange kaneki
Yeah.
I'm like but ile mshado yakudala leyo ari ngifuna yona that was my dream
Yeah.
kuthi the day ngishada ngifuna ukwenza ithwanthwana
Yeah.
okay ayisiza yenza ithwanthwana emshadweni of which the ithwanthwana ended up to be a festival.
Yeah.
Because on top of the Tswan, he decided that he'll have a stage. Umuphi umshado on a stage and the performances.
Umshado wakhe. Wakankalakatha. Kalakatha, sikalakatha focus. Wonke
Yeah. Then there was a stage and there was performances. Yeah. It started ekhaya originally in Katlehong. It was, I've never, even me as a bride, I remember looking. But umakoti akaqalazi uhlala kanje but I had to look I had to look nasesontweni ngithi hayibo and then what is happening is this my wedding it's a celebration it's one of those and we understand that eKatlehong bebangekho abantu abaningi so ngilethe enye into eKatlehong yeah so it was beautiful a Saturday eKatlehong. Sunday it was in Mpho then that's where the stage was and before the stage uyakhumbula
yes
sazula ngeimoto so
Ting!
we started in Mpho
Yeah.
sazula ilokishi saya ezola kagokwakhe saya emndeni kagogwami. By the time we came back at Mpho we're coming back with convoy. There's already a convoy of 10 cars as a bridesmaid because I had 12 bridesmaids, he had 12 groomsmen. There's already a convoy of that. But sibuya nabanye abantu silokhu sithi silandeleni festival kune festival. We came back, it was packed. It was packed. It was beautiful until we got the news that Brenda passed on on that same day, but it was late in Dambama. He was very close to Umama. Him having to break the news while he's on stage on his wedding day, it was sad. But as Brenda did, a very huge thing in South Africa. But the show went on to celebrate our Mnandi.
And then I don't know because mawukhuluma ngoMandoza ubab Tshabalala, I mean the character, the personality, the energy, his aura, when you see him on stage. I remember the song Nkalakatha. For me that song ile ya kopanya Dichaba. I don't want to lie. I remember we were driving, I don't know where we were going. I saw a white man. Remiko di Robotong. Anyway, his is like, Nkalakatha. And we were like, what? And that was Mandoza. And even white people, they end up understanding the culture of kwaito. They end up, wanting to adopt. When we are seeing white people now wearing, white people, they are very, reserved people, and when they dress, but now they were like with baggy jeans and with the way Mandoza used to look, the image, and then now they are adopting whatever whatever that Mandoza is
culture.
doing. And ke batla go khutlela morao hanyane as re bua ka ena, you know, he was like a beast, you know, in a good way, you know. But o no tseba gore ha o mona jalo re he's a man of God.
I knew just after I met him.
Okay.
It's one of the things that said, yes, I want to be with you. When I met the family, because I he didn't meet my families yet.
Yeah.
But Nakile, Kaikisa, Kirikisa, Watewa, Palawa, short left. Mola, Kodichopon Kozola.
Yeah.
Come back at Tewa.
Yeah.
Short right, Katewa, Sakinulua, I Machita Kone.
Yeah.
Sanmanan, we are going to festival. Yeah. So I met the family, I met Mama, and I met Malume, a very spiritual family, a very church-going background. So I knew that, and when we started staying together, even with the guys, Chiscop, them before going on stage praying, I'm like, oh, by a tanda.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
I didn't know that.
Yes, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him at home, the culture of praying,
Yeah.
Arutsoga, the culture of praying before Robala,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Like, oh, okay, yes, yeah.
Yeah. No, he you know when we talking about him, you know, it's like I'm visualizing the whole thing, you know, the whole scenario. I remember when we were told that they are coming to 999.
Yes.
And then after it's like, we're having a meeting. Hi guys, Chiscop is coming to 999. It was like, what? You know? And Abafitla, you know, it was such a beautiful thing. And even the environment changed.
The energy.
The
They were
energy.
full of energy. You know,
Yeah.
when they say people are hungry for something,
Yeah.
to tell their stories, come music.
Yes.
They were like that. Chiscop was like, there was a group. You'd feel them on stage when they would go on stage.
Yeah.
Like Jeno Palamidi stage, QSB, Worshipper, Spina, Lollipop,
Yeah.
yeah. They all over, and Abdu's voice is
Yeah.
just something else. So they were just full of energy.
Yeah.
And when you see them from far, you would think, hey,
Yeah, very.
until you spend
Yeah.
time with them, you're like, nah, I was like their mother. I spent time
Yeah,
with them because
yeah.
I stayed with this time. We stayed with them. Was in our house.
Yeah.
So nekile make and
Aish, yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So I miss those people. I miss Loli. I miss SP. I miss Umduduzi.
Yeah.
I'm left with Ucheni. You know, the last
Yeah,
man
the last man standing.
The
Yeah,
last
you
man
can say that
standing.
again.
And I'm happy that in everything that I do, I'm able to involve him.
Yeah.
He's able to say, sister, nyenza kanje kanje, sibonisane."
Yeah,
He
yeah.
respects me so much as a sister, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Ke batla re khutlele morao hanyane. The time has about like realizing his power, you know, like he has, you know, harele mo di groupung ne, we're not the same. We are very different. And mo di groupung hona le o eleng hore he will, whether we like it or not, he will stand out. Like Mandoza, he was like that. Even if Wababona okay generally, Kilolipop, but unanone that thing, Leanto.
Nalento.
Yeah, the cause of toi. So I came out. Oh, you had a very handsome man, you know. Hatlhakamolo is like, especially Hakabako staging and then about Tomola Cho.
I think it's one of the things I'm like, I umile lo guy. And then walk here. What a presence. Began a presence.
Yes, you know.
True, yeah.
So understand Rona, especially me now, he was my brother.
Oh, you
Ooh,
talk about
I
you so
loved
much, yeah.
Mandoza with all my heart. You know, it's like he was my brother. Mo khara rona go fela ona chuzana and then next was hala antshware a emelena a re
Isinyana ela ya
yes
hae,
a thanya ke
yes,
ba kwenze
yeah.
next nyaka ba khlukumeze ngikhona ngila, you know. So ke batla utse hore na how being Mandoza as a solo artist, like realizing his power, his authority. Remember, Isahaba Iwan, that's when we could understand this man, he's something else. He's one of a kind. He is the chosen one. You know, sometimes you know, if Mandoza was here, they know. You know,
it was good for the business.
Yeah.
Lukewarm for the family. Yeah. It was heavy. He was always away at home. You know, there was a time when we still had one child. I would travel with him. You know, that's how I met you. I would travel with him. But then came a time, then Tumelo was born. So then I'm like, I'm a mother of two now.
Yeah.
You know, now a mother, married, Musadi.
Melu hlala endlini umfazi, melu hlala endlini manje.
No. I'd say about really now, you know, coming back from home, coming back from work, a warm home.
Yeah.
So I decided to stay home. But it was strenuous for us, you know, him being all over the world traveling. But we got used to it in the long run. And then the industry, you know, it was ups and downs of the industry. So, but one thing that made us survive everything is so whether things were high or things were bad, you know, this and that, but because we remained together, then we will survive anything.
You know, when you talk about this industry, Lena is Mpho, you know, there's pressure, too much pressure. You know, people are expecting this from you, they're expecting that from him, you know, and he's a man. He's been loved by many women. I mean,
that was one of the big challenges. You know, sometimes but I'm like, uzenzile kakhalelwa. It's your choice. You can say no.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know,
So I want to know, Uguti, as a woman, you know, it is not easy for us. Whether it's corporate, whether it's what, it is not easy for the fact that you had to be a mother, you have to be a wife, and also at the same time you were involved in his businesses, you know. So you had to work 100 times harder, and I want to know ukuthi ubokhona kanjani as umfazi, you know, thina abafazi they expect a lot, and criticism, they will criticize, you understand? So remember, this is our month, and siyagowisha chomi.
Oh yeah.
Kuningi, good rave, you know. But you know what, even if I'm breaking down, but I can say you were able, you know, to, it's like uyangena phakathi inside, it's a big hole, and there are sharks, there are hyenas yonke into ilapo, but you've managed, you know, to turn around and say angeke, like ukhone kanjani.
You know, honestly, my first answer will be saying God. Okumazi nokumesaba is very important. 2 days ago, I wrote on my status that I'm not ashamed of what I went through in life. I'm not embarrassed. What may have been tea for you was testimony for me.
Yeah.
When you sit around tables making indaba zami for you to drink tea, so that I can tell you what God did with the pieces of my life. Yes. God and a good support structure. Know your people.
Yes.
So know your people, know your crowd. Yeah. Know who you let in your space. Tina, it was mostly, I'll say that it's mostly people that were in our space. Next to a stranger somewhere, it was people that you let and you thought, hey, barayit labantu, but asabantu barayit. So we had to learn who we let in our space. Being umduduzi ukenang bohle umduduzi. He was like, he wanted everyone to be happy, he wanted to help everyone. The original umduduzi, I'm not talking about Mandoza. Mandoza ngimtope endleleni. I know umduduzi. Umduduzi is a guy that sits chilled endlini and watch cartoons. He loved cartoons. He watched about Dayz for Our Lives, Bold and the Beautiful. That was Duduzi. Relaxed. He was always hungry. So that's why I had to be home.
And cook.
Cooking.
Yes.
Because he'll be hungry every hour. You know, so it's a good support structure that I had around me and God. Both families and our friends and God, giving it all to God. To say there were times where I'm like, God, you know, but God will always carry me and say, you know what, I placed you in this marriage. This was I never knew that in my marriage, when we went through our challenges, there was truly where I was saying, I'm so cold, I'm done. But in a way, then I'll remember the guy that I met. Because along the years, with fame and everything, Duduzi, there's where he lost himself. But knowing God, he came back, you know. And it's so sad, Uguti, you know, the years that he came back, it was the years that he departed.
I just want to know, now hukila habalimo oring, I regret being in this man's life.
Nah, that was my buddy, that was my dog. Not a regret, Nestam, but I don't know what to say, but never a regret. If someone asked me, I would do it over again with this guy. There was never a regret, but through the challenges, there was saying, I had something to say, I am done. But never a regret. I had way saying, but never a regret.
You know, Mpho, you went through a lot, you know, for the fact that you survived a stroke. Girl? No, for real. I mean, some people, they don't come back.
No, they don't. I've got stroke patients that I deal with. From time to time, I spend time with them to give them encouragement. You know, Nestam, there's no weapon I have for people. The only weapon I have for women out there is God. I put my everything. That, you know what, lo esimthembayo uyathembeka. Even with my stroke, other people had written me off. I couldn't speak, I couldn't walk. I just had a new baby. So my mom and Du's mom had two small kids to take off besides the boys. So because they had to bath me, to feed me, everything. But lo esimthembayo uyathembeka. There's no place where they took me to. I just went to therapy, to, you know, all things that were recommended by the doctor, and definitely putting God first. People came to pray for me, and Linda, I had this fighting spirit. I said to myself, for the fact that I stroke, I'm alive, that means I still have a purpose. I spoke to God and said, you know what, for the fact that you kept me, that means I still have a purpose. Let me finish up your purpose.
You know how so, but you have answered my question, because I was gonna ask you at that time, like you are realizing that, you know, I have a stroke, I can't walk, I have kids, I can't do anything. It's like in your mind, you know, it's like alone, you know, like talking to yourself, you know, it's like as this woman, the meetings and
one thing about stroke patients is that the mind is proper, it's working. It depends with how we are affected. My whole left was affected. So in that way, I couldn't walk. I had to start to learn walking. Everything in my mind is, so stroke patients cry a lot. Because you get frustrated. You know in your mind, you tell your mind, but the body is not responding. I want to feed myself. Toilet. In your mind, everything, you know what you want to do, but it's not happening. Then you get frustrated. I used to spend time not with being with the family in the lounge, but
Only
kilikamere.
one.
So in that time, spending time with myself, I would speak to God. Ising kamulomi vocal because I couldn't speak.
Yeah, yeah.
But kapeluli in my mind, I would have conversations with God to say, just it's antwe.
Yeah.
It's antwe. Yeah. That's how I survived, a stroke. The willpower, I always tell the stroke patients that, some of them don't survive.
Yeah.
But I always tell them that if you feel a chart to go and practice, because you look. But if they gave you something, don't do it 100%.
Yeah.
Do it 110%.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my stroke. And, after my stroke, I was hungry to live.
Yeah.
Because it was a second chance. for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I think there was a time, because there was a time when I was in ICU. And that's why I said other people had written me off.
Yeah.
But I had to be the one who tells myself, because as women, what kills us in life is that we look for validation from other people. Yeah. We look for love.
Yes.
Yeah. But next time one rata na. We understand?
Yeah.
So you never think or
Yeah.
Anna, do I validate myself?
Yeah. Am I enough for
Am I
myself?
enough? Look at yourself in the mirror and make yourself enough for you before you are enough for the next person.
Sure, Mpho. No, there's a lot. Yeah, and I think women like you need to be celebrated in a correct way with a correct manner. You need to be celebrated while you are still alive. There's a reason why you went through whatever you went through, and there's a reason why Ntate Modimo gape a lwanne gore go kenya mo testing ena, cause there's a reason, there's a purpose, and how o bua so o ke thotse ko mametse gore how many women are going through this, and ba ileng gore siyagowisha, but for the fact that siyasaba ukukhuluma, you understand, and in resaba because we are being bashed by other women. What can we do? What can we? How can we change our mindset as women? Because we always have every year August. Ke kgwedi ya basadi. The 9 we celebrating this month. We talk about our challenges, but after August, if it is like it's a closed chapter.
For an example, Nesta Mauban. There's a woman that bashed another woman. I'm a or what. Today, posted. Happy Women's Day. Happy Women's Day.
Yeah.
We are like that.
Yeah.
Mauban,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mara ola hey na wena na wa just Nesta mar. What's up?
Yeah.
But Kadi 9 I wake up and say Happy Women's Day. What is the meaning of Women's Day?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And like when I say to other women Happy Women's Day, what do I actually mean?
Yeah.
Do I really mean it?
Yeah.
Lika sani ka di 10 ke tla be ke tsoga ke re Happy Women's Day.
Yeah.
What defines that thing to say
Happy Women's Day?
I'm one person. I'm always hosting Kontlung. I'm always hosting women. Then there's another side section where the boys are always hosting the boys, because that's a culture I'm trying to have in my house.
Yeah.
Reason being that I want us to.
Yeah.
I've got a very beautiful dimple, so I love showing my dimple. So
Yes, girl. Why not? Marabara laughter is the best medicine. That's why you are not gonna age, because you're always laughing, and the dimple side is
yeah. And I feel there's a time where I asked myself, why did my mom and my dad give me this name? Because Mpho, that's it. And I had to go back and define King Mpho. It's a gift.
Yeah.
They say I was a gift to them.
Yeah.
Then I had to break this name, Kiri. Then I'm a gift to other people.
Yes.
How can I be a gift to other people? I may not have the money, but I do have the resources to say, "Ari kopaneng re le basadi."
Yeah.
That's what happens in my house all
Yeah.
the time. We always chilling, whether khumnati rapraya or we just always working, having ideas, or hey, this is our next execution. Reza so. That's what I want. That's what I define na celebrating women to say.
Yeah.
We're not yet there where re batlang ho ya teng, but as long as we do something from time to time, we are going there.
Yeah.
Because I always say, yes, I make an example like in a car. The reflection mirror.
Yeah.
But the windscreen,
yes.
So that means our future is still bright. We can still change this. Send a hope next time.
Yeah. No, as long as we still have people like
Send a
you,
Send
why
a hope
not?
all the time.
Yeah.
Let's empower each other all the time. Women is just all about empowerment.
Yeah.
Empowerment. Instead, I do not. I choose what type of people I want in my space now.
Yeah.
I choose.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have people where kisna boroto. Before uton rumela chelta boroto. Say that text I've sent you. Say rumetsu ko batho ba bangata. So people that I have.
Hey,
really,
Shwena.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, no, I get you.
We have to be selfish about ourselves now, our spaces. You can't save the whole world.
Yeah, no, you
but
can't.
Try and just make you find when your cup is full.
Yeah.
Then you are able to overflow.
Yeah.
Make sure as a woman you fill your cup.
Yeah.
When your cup is
It's
filled,
full,
the
then-
overflow.
Yeah.
Because if you gonna and your cup is half full,
No.
it gonna lead you.
Yes. Yes, and I'm not I'm not whole. Yes, yeah. You know, how we need to understand maybe hore by saying this is Women's Month, Women's Day. Why letsatsi lena le le la ba teng? You know, we know the history, you know, behind the letsatsi la you know, Bomme, Lillian Goibo, Helen Suzman. Remember, they had to go Union Building. They were united, and we are what we are because of them. You know, they had to fight. You know, imagine habar basadi ba tshwara ka bohaleng. I think if we can rezame as basadi to khutela ko the spirit of ubuntu lore I ke re tla utla ba hona jwanong ba re culture can be changed, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, they like saying that, you know. Ra khutela to the spirit of ubuntu khona le nthabar batho pele principles. If we can try to really instill it into
to go back to our roots.
You understand? Yeah.
Let's go back to our roots.
Yeah.
Re godiswe education.
Yeah.
No sing ngwana wa ko eno fela.
Yeah.
No le ngwana wa ko next door.
Yes.
Wa ko next door
Yeah.
will be able to reprimand musugele hona jwa next door. Musugele o tla bona. Musugele and try and reprimand them before o phoqiwa ke batswadi.
Yeah. Taba sa o tlhatla mo ha wena o bana ozongtshela.
Yeah. So
You understand?
Let's go back. I think as much as we're celebrating this freedom, the 30 years freedom, along the way we lost the plot.
Hey, and we did, hey?
As families, as women, as men.
Yeah.
But it's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too
Yeah.
late. You know, when so you born, you can fix it. Say reborn reinforces kae. Let's try and unite. Let's try and unite and build each other.
Yeah.
When you empower a human, you empower the nation.
Yeah, you're empowering
Let's
the nation.
empower each other so that then we know
Yeah.
everything is strong.
Be strong. You know, Hansa ki bua le wena sone. I like it's like we speaking the same language, but I'm not saying English, Afrikaans, or Sesotho. You know, I'm connecting with you. Maybe kore rona re bale.
I'm old school.
The original ones. You understand? We still have what it takes.
Yeah.
And ke rata hape how we must be able to identify people ba leng hore especially basadi ba leng hore re batla ho ba around their space. I'm going to make an example, ne? And I'm sorry she's around, but I have to talk about her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about. No, we need to celebrate and embrace powerful women.
Sure.
She's one of basadi ba leng hore Isa hanse ke rapela ke re Lord, I'm tired of being around in so batho ba bana ba manage. You get my point. Ke batla that feminine touch. E leng hore o tlo re ha ke busing ya go wisha. Yithi athi ke rata le ha tlo re ko nanana.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, Nana, she's tapping into me, young understand, because I wanted motho gore o tlo khona ho understand from a woman point of view. Ha ke re nyako wish I'm going through this. Yes, a sister Lord ha ke re nkhathele. I've been through ni round, and for the fact that you are from there, you knew me from Kisansani Kekala, and you saw me growing and all that. And once you start identifying they still have it from the grassroots level. You tend to, you know. Yeah. So Kirata how when you are emphasizing hore. We must be able to identify. Yeah. And harba identify let us embrace one another. Sure. And as much as Uchorabo the king
women's what something.
Yes. Yeah. I am challenging you. Okay. I am real. This is our month, this is our day. I am challenging you. And only engwe happy re tlo yetsa
am I ready? Am I ready for those challenges?
If you want to know the other challenge, be here. Stay tuned. Yeah. Otherwise, I should. Okay, I'm challenging you, Mpho. But why don't you try to this thing and mentor these young kids? With your five up. Do you know? I was caught about
yeah.
Understand? And for the fact that they don't know how the spirit of Ubuntu Rona as young black women rooted from Ekas Uguti in. That's why when they see us, you look 25 and you are 25. You know what? Because as Champang.
Yeah, true.
You get my point? Yeah. As Champang, as much as it is rough gula industry, we've been through what, but we are still standing, you know? I don't know. Maybe if it's Angas, maybe this ingayenza ukuthi sing about right off. Because we can see them, these young, beautiful girls. They are beautiful.
Oh, smart one.
Woo! Bahle moba peke Google lama podcast nama TikTok. It's like ice the way bahle. But it's too much. Young understanders. So I don't know if maybe there's something if we can do. You know, as I know there is something that you are doing for Ubaba, Mandoza, you know.
So my other way of trying and, you know, empowering women is creating jobs. Yeah. As I say, Guti, ngabe nginale mali monopoly, ngabe mhlambe ngiyayilahlela kanje, but that's also not building people. So what I do from time to time, I make sure that I do events, I do whatever that I do in the space that I'm in. To hire women, you know, even if it's not a long-term thing, maybe it's a 3 months or 2 months thing, but income yakele it will change. It has hold up. That's how I, because you can't dictate to them. Hey, uziphatha kanje ini. I think there's a time where we are too late. Ezinye izinto mina sizifunde ekhaya indlela yokuziphatha as women, you know, and also not be too restrictive. Yes, times have changed. You know, we see now also social media. That's how they make money. I'm very bad with that also. So that's what I do when I understand. Like now the project every September I do a project. Like now I'm going to be doing a musical in celebration year 25 years in Kalagata. Kalagata is turning 25 years next year. But I thought, you know, in our culture,
yeah.
I
like it. Yes.
I was taught to every big thing before inkomo iyandlalelo ngembuzi or ngemvu. So this big inkomo engizoyihlaba next year in 25 years ngiyayindlalela this year with a musical a Soweto theater.
Yeah.
That's also gonna be
What?
Sibatel or Siba, of which you are the MC. Of which you are the MC in that event. For 2 days, 18 and 19 September. 18th being my birthday, because I never know what to do on my birthday. Whether should I laugh and cry, because Umtutuzi passed on the day. So for me, that's how I empower women to say, Ish, maybe you will get more recognized through where I employ you as a woman. I'm giving you the space. You never know who's watching.
You know.
Boni saying all that you have.
Yeah.
You know, arts and culture is a big thing in this country. The economy, arts and culture, I understand. The kwaito space. I tell people that kwaito built me houses. Kwaito took my kids to school. Kwaito fed me. You know, kwaito fed our families, our extended families. So ngiyabezwa bathi hey kwaito iwile angilazi ithuna lakhona kwaito dead babona isithuna. So for me, my big thing, you understand, is empowering them by creating job opportunities for them.
You know, when you're talking about that, okay.
This part. We can do so many events. They come, they listen, and then what?
On Usase Lapo. Remember, good people, lovely people. Hello, this is Happy Dayz podcast. You mentioned something about arts. Arts, very important. Also, Lana, a Happy Dayz podcast. Whether you are an artist, whether you are a poet, whatever it involves art. Make sure drop us something, drop us something. This is me, this is what we do, because this podcast is not only about telling you about Tina Ama living ancestors, It is also about trying, as you're saying, trying to create jobs, trying, to put the talent out there to people, young understander. So wherever you are, wherever you at, if you are watching this podcast, Happy Dayz podcast, make sure go to your stint abafetu, and then also go to me na planning 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then sizo balancisela, sizokwenza ube right ube or bheka right now ngiphethe isikhokho, isikhokres abafana ikhokho thina foundation ye papa is khokres. Mpho, you can hear ukuthi she has done a lot and she's still going to do a lot, not only for bangathi ababhizi ngamantombazana. What about thina abafana? No
namajita nawo ngiyawafaka. Definitely namajita ngiyawafaka. As I mentioned ukuthi the musical that's happening in September, it's not a musical that's for women kuphela. It's a musical speaking about Mpho Tshabalala, but also showing all the collaborations that he did, who he worked with, telling his story, and also we hire from your dancers, the arts and culture space. The arts and culture space, because I felt like it's a space that has never been tapped on in theater. We love touching new things that have never been touched. So I said, you know what? I don't think there's ever been a musical ye kwaito, but mamela ngumfazi wenkalakatha
ayiwena sikalakatha espoka
ngomakotwa sezola ngiyathanda ukuthatha ama risk.
All right, good people, lovely people. All right, Happy Dayz, guys. Remember, this is Podcast Happy Dayz. Stay tuned. We still have a lot. I mean, Mpho sizokhuluma ngayo. So if uzovela utitsha one time awusabuyi, asingeni indaba yakho. So we'll be right back.
Challenge yakho.
we have to tell them, but stay tuned, ne?
Okay.
Spinach wami technology izinto ezintsha uyayazi lento sebayibiza podcast manje ukhona i-happy days lapha ku-podcast yabona-ke popayi wami itshele kazi bese ngicale ngaba-happy uyabona bro wami kubalulekile ukuthi uhlale uhappy kazi that's why nayo i-podcast le happy days yenza abantu babe happy uyazi popayi wami ngifuna ukubatshela labantu kazi lami ukuthi uyabona uma bengangeni laphana badownload ukuthi lo podcast uthole kanjani bohlale be-happy happy days iba happy njenganje uyasibona ukuthi
The buzz of the city is what inspires art.
Oh,
Yeah. There you are.
Ausponga bazali, danke mama.
Yeah, we used to dance with it, so.
We are back, good people. Remember, this is Happy Days podcast, Happy Days quarter challenge. Angaz, Mpho, are you ready?
Ngifuna ukuthumela
Ubani?
boy uThukulu ilocation yala ne.
Azwenzani?
Bathi lento siqede nge
7 minutes, yeah.
Uthukulu I'm sure ngayiqeda nge 3 minutes. It's just that isabhizi nge Women's Month. Next month ngiyamletha. So
Uyamletha.
but I'm ready.
Alright.
Ngizobona ukuthi ngumama kaThukulu.
Angithi thina sithi siyimbokodo. Sithi si abondlovukazi. Siyayibamba lento le. So mara Mpho ilanga lethu ne.
Yeah.
And mina nawe
Senza noma yini.
Mama mina nawe si same WhatsApp group ne.
Yeah.
Angeke sivumele abantu basiluse ngamakota.
Mamela nestam. So the challenge is running for the whole month la. Iqala ngathi iyaqhubeka.
Yeah, it has to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're setting up a standard.
Yeah.
Ukuthi ikoti idliwa kanjani kasi.
Mara usho uzongishaya ve mara ngiyakusaba wena.
Asambe nestanga, sambe nesta, sambe nesti, sambe.
All right.
I was that now
10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 idla ikot angeke bafethu makunje.
Yeah.
Utho sizokhona la. Angazi ukuthi ngibamba kuphi.
Yo.
It's too big. Angeke sikhona. Mpho wenzani?
I don't know,
Umakoti wasezola ngiyamsaba.
but I'm doing
Upheka.
Umnoma uyavuleka.
Angazi.
Bengifuna uyiluma kani.
Guys, mina ngumbonyi bafethu ngimfishane nomlomo wami omfishane.
Angeke ngene stam.
Asingibona. Ayona iyaso. Na ngeke siqeda. Never.
Mara ngizolda more than you.
Mpho. Mangenzi kanjalo. Sesiliso yami ikota mina nawe. Besikhuluma kamncane kanje.
Thanks uje ka strategy. Yo le qanda nestampela. Iqanda line hem phakathi. Yo.
Yeah, ne.
Ngicela simloma.
Alisibelo ukuthi iqale kahle. Which side? 4 minutes left. Bubi. I never kissed her for 5 weeks. Mpho?
Now we're being a Kenyan tongue, I can't understand.
Ha! So kanje manje.
Asakhetha ngipizza ke.
Ngabe sikhetha amaphizi asiyaphapha. Phapha lokho.
Nasenisuthi.
Usheshe wasutha girl. Yo. I felt good. Ukuphapha kuphelile. Usho,
Utafuna ukuqeqeka.
bathi utafuna ukuqeqeka. Hayi Mpho yadla Shem. Hayi ngiyakuvuma sisi.
Semsebenzini la.
Hayi ngiyakuvuma Shem. Umakoti wasezola.
Hey ngisincedi ngangadli breakfast.
How many? 2. Yo, imagine bebathe bazosinikeza i-million. Izozindlula just like that. Yo,
Nesta muito fácil, sketsa jo.
azaduma.
Nesta.
Ziduma nge-nicknuts. Zaduma simabo abomadumane now. Ufuna ukuqaqaqala usile wena. Ngikuthi ngikubona.
Buzothoba.
Phakathi.
Lesinkwa yesi.
Simnandi na.
Mele usidle naso leso.
Hawu kanti ubheka isinkwa sami. Mpho yabona manje. Ndaba lokufaka.
Phela bazoza nesikali after la. Hey advantage yami ngele. Mawubhizi neweave.
Ama-weave we-fiber up azokuhlaza during the challenge. Hmm. 1 minute remaining. Bizani ambulance. Sepha manje.
Beziqede zonke inyanga.
Para hospital siyangena no. So wakuzukhuluma after la. Batakaska.
Shebe ngipatile Russian kama
Ngiyazisola. Angeke susa. Ngisha neyinwele nje wekurafu ngakhona. Nkosi yami. Lord have mercy on me and Mpho. Ay, nazo. And then bazobona kanjani ukuthi
Kaskala, wabona skala skena wena.
unanesikala.
Now we need to have a winner between the two of you guys. So because I'm going to away and
Yeah. So guys, sisuthi. Isisu si happy. Njenge happy days. Sisuthi shem. Vele bayakala.
Ngizisa yo zona. Hey, yabona ukuba ubangani nabantu bayakala.
Sitting
458.
458. Mara ngabe basitshelile before sila ukuthi
Bazokala.
ithini?
466.
Nasty. Strategy is very important. Strategy. Gijila ka strategy. Yo ke khotsi yo.
Mina ngidla nje. Hayi ngishayile shem. Yo,
Hey, toast.
giya.
Laya ka ifedile.
Hayi ngifedile. Ha ukimba. Wana ujaja igama lakho elisha ujaja.
Thank you to my Jaja.
Hawu
Yo,
yadla.
angeke.
Hayi uyazi ungibonisile shem. Hayi no. Ngiyakuvuma Mpho.
Yo. Like angeke. Yo, nasty.
Ama-lipstick
nasty.
asukile. Mela asuke bezidla isenje iqota challenge kanti bacabanga ukuthi zizoba bahle.
So besides you, the work that we do together,
Yes.
do you think chances given you would perform as girls, come and dance, girls, come and dance,
Try me,
girls,
girl.
come and dance.
Yabona le dance le bathi ibhakadi.
Yeah.
Hey man. Ubona bathi. Thina basithi
I remember.
thatha.
Lawo mashota blue nasty. Aphi lawo mashota?
Asasakhona. No,
Even
I will. Yazi mina ngisaperforma namanje as abashanti.
Beautiful.
And ngiyashaya into yami stage.
That's a legacy. When we talk
Yeah.
about, we've got, people don't understand. When you talk about legacies, we talk about all different legacies, where you started.
Yeah.
That is part of the 30-year celebration.
Yeah.
Abashanti.
Yeah.
Please don't stop.
I won't stop, my sister. I won't stop, and I am so grateful that me and you today, same WhatsApp group, we met and we spoke, and I'm so grateful that you went all out. You didn't hide, because this is our month. This is our day. We're supposed to empower. We're supposed to uplift. We're supposed to encourage women all over the world. So good people, lovely people, thank you very much. Sizonbona tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, good people. Remember, this is Happy Days podcast. It is good, to be happy. Ngoba amalanga wethu vele, we have to remember ama happy days. Why not? Mina Mpho, Nekota Challenge and Happy Days podcast crew and everybody everywhere right now, we say peace.
Subscribe and become a member of the biggest family, the Happy Days on Podcast family.